All right, we are live, Jenna.
Hi. It's
Everybody
lovely to
tuning
see
in?
you.
I'm Scott, Wichita, Kansas here, and joining me from Atlanta,
It's Jenna. I'm Jenna. Hi.
just in case you don't know us. We've
Just in
been
case you don't know us.
we've been teaming up a lot on the monthly outturns and everything else.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's a treat. So anytime I get the opportunity, I'm always happy to take it. So excited to be tasting through these with you tonight.
yes. Unfortunately, I think the question already came up. How many do we have? We're actually a little short tonight. We were planning on doing 5 whiskeys for everybody, and one of the bottles got pulled last minute, and so we've got 4 to offer up tonight of a 12-bottle outturn. 12 bottles that'll hit the
Yep,
shelves tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
that's right. But we
And
have picked really, I'm super stoked about tasting through this selection.
yeah,
Um, this is a really fun group of whiskeys that I'm just so excited to taste on a Monday.
yep. And at least one wine finished cask that I had to look up to see what it was because I'd never even heard of that certain wine.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So we're gonna have some cool stuff tonight. Um, but I say before we dive into these whiskeys, and before we kind of do a roll call and see who is all hanging out with us tonight, this is just a quick reminder that we have started a Discord channel for members only. And so if you are interested in joining the Discord channel, please do send myself, Jenna at SMWSA, an email, or Scott at SMWSA, an email, and we'll be sure to get you vetted and make sure that you're a member, and we'll get that invite sent over to you. So it's a lot of fun. Oh, look, there you go.
I had to go back.
There
I
they
had to go
are.
back to the archives to find it. Yeah, we're up to we've got 68. So we started Discord. We announced it. What was it? It was the 1st of July with the July outturn preview
Yeah.
tasting. And we kind of just wanted to get us kind of a slow roll with it, get some people in there, make sure everything was going okay. It's going to advance from where it's at. We're up to 68 members in there already, though, which is I think far more than I had expected to have at this point. We've only really talked about it with the July outturn and then the
Blind tasting.
July mid month and then the blind tasting. Yeah, so word is getting out, and there's some good conversations going. And it's not just SMWS talk either. I mean, people are talking all kinds of whiskeys and rums. We'll break it down probably once we get going and get a feel for it. We'll create some subgroups, which I'm thinking, like location specific. So if Chicago wants their own chat room, we can do that, certain area specific ones. And then maybe even it's already come up to maybe provide a separate channel just for non-SMWS talk. Right now, I kind of like it all in there together myself, but
Yeah, it's been fun to see what everybody's talking about, and it's a lot of fun. So be sure to send us an email, and we'll get you invited, and come have some fun with us.
you bet.
Yeah.
All right.
So shall we do a little roll call? See who's hanging out tonight.
You bet.
Wanna do that, Teacher Scott?
You bet. Joe Combs II is tuning in. Northwoods Whiskey Nerds. Stuart of Butte. Warren Buff. Ernie is here. Jeff Timmy. Seth Landesman. Duke McHale. Andrew Deloach. Evan Belt. Scott Friedland. Jason Jones. Big Dog and Bird Dog, they just became members. They signed up over the weekend, taking advantage of the special that we had going. They're down in Florida. Big fans. Big Ed is tuning in. Evan Stevens, Tom R, Mamuka 1977, John Coling, Steve Balzac, Matthew Ryan, Sage Summer, Derek Allen, Brandon, George Kaplan, Lady K, Important Whiskeys, quite a few. Trigv,
I know.
And I think I got everybody. David Belcher, Eric Waite, Whiskey Studies, Logan Mott, Justin Massey, David Starr. Summer and Dave in Maryland, he says. So Sage, Summer, and Dave in Maryland.
That's a rad little group.
A shout out too to everybody stuck in airports out there that are tuning in. Quite a few people there, hopefully. Hopefully they're watching.
Stuck in airports. Yeah.
All the cancellations and everything, hey.
Oh gosh. Well, hopefully this will get you through if you are stuck at the airport.
They call them long delays. We call them new subscribers.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, shall we? I would love to have a whiskey, Scott.
Trigv says good job on the name pronunciation, and I used to work with a Trigv, so yeah, I recognized. It's spelled a little bit different, but close. Praveen Mahida, I see tuning in now, and Sean Robinson. All right, yeah. We do have a special that's going to start tomorrow with.
But we're not going to say it yet.
Okay,
we're going to say it at the end.
Remind us, people watching.
Remind us.
Special, yeah, we've got a special that starts 1 p.m. Eastern time.
But we're not going to tell you till the end.
All right. In between, we will tell you plenty of razzmatazz.
Yeah. Ooh. I feel like I have to do like jazz hands or something with that. Yeah. So let's dig into the first whiskey of the night. And you want to introduce this one?
You bet.
Since you're already jazzed up.
I already did introduce it. Maybe
all right. Well,
maybe some didn't. Cask number 70.46. Plenty of razzmatazz. 14-year-old Highland, bottled at 59.2% ABV. It's in our sweet, fruity, and mellow profile. Double cask maturation on this one. First is an ex-bourbon hogshead, and then the second cask is a second fill Chenin Blanc Barrique. And that's the wine I had to look up. I had not heard of Chenin Blanc before.
Yeah, there's when you think of Scotch whiskey in white wine casks, so Chenin Blanc is a white wine. It can be sparkling to dry, from France. And when you think of Scotch whiskeys that have been aged in some type of white wine like Chardonnay, or it was Glenmorangie that actually were one of the first to mature their whiskeys, and they used Chardonnay cask. And so I'm always very interested to see. I haven't tasted a lot over the years that I've been tasting whiskey, but I'm always very interested to see, what these kind of profiles, are that the white wine brings. So I was very excited to see this coming down. And when we both saw it, we were like, we have to taste that.
Well, naturally, I'm going to jump at anything, especially like where I see Chenin Blanc, and I'm like, I haven't had one of those before, and I need to.
Yeah. And from this distillery, which I can't remember the last time. I don't even know if I maybe have one tucked away in there from this particular distillery. But if you've ever seen the movie Angel Share, where the kids try to go, and they're not kids, they're of age, young people, I'm not a young people anymore. So I'm like, here I am saying kids. But when they went to go try to steal the cask of the malt mill cask, and this particular distillery is where they were holding that cask in the movie. So
was it the Utes?
Fun fact of the day.
The Utes tried to steal it?
Yes, they were younger peoples than me.
Utes? Did you say Utes?
No, I just said young.
No, I know. That's from a
young
movie.
Peoples.
That's from
what movie?
Come on. You've seen it, I'm sure.
What is it?
Watch this. Somebody will know. Excuse me. Did you say Utes? We'll see if anybody comes. I'll let you know. By the time we get done with this, if nobody knows. Evan Stevens got it. There it goes.
All right. Oh yeah, I have seen that, but I don't recall that particular line in the movie.
That was what's the lawyer's name from New York that goes back? I can't think of his name now. Joe Pesci. When he was in front of the judge for the first time, he referred to the defendants as the two Utes. Oh. And the judge was like, "Did you say Utes?"
Second fun fact of the day. And I'm going to throw a third one in there from Eric Waite Whiskey Studies. He also says Chenin Blanc is also a Pinot de la, not going to go there, or Steen in South Africa is what it's called, which I did know that. It was called Steen from South Africa. But yeah, so third fun fact of wow, we are only a couple minutes in, and look at all the learning we're doing.
That's right. All right,
let's talk about it.
And let me look real quick. I think this one was 9 years ex-bourbon and 5 years in the Chenin Blanc. Let me check.
Yeah, it's a 9.5.
Okay. Yep.
Good.
which is, I mean, that's a pretty good maturation, 5 years in there, and it's picked up some nice influence from it. To me, it's, I mean, it's all over the nose.
I mean, this is a lot. I mean, there's a lot happening on the nose on this.
Yep.
I'm getting like, it almost, to me, I'm almost getting like lip smackers, like watermelon chapstick on the nose.
I can see watermelon, tangerine.
Yeah. Like those very vibrant, bright, like refreshing type of fruits. This is not a dark fruits kind of whiskey.
No,
But then there's like,
no, definitely not. Yeah.
Little,
it's a little salty though too. Salty, tangy.
There's a tart element to this for sure.
A what?
Like a very tart.
Oh, tart
element.
Yeah.
That tangy tart. But there's almost like a weird kind of like wet cardboard. I know that sounds gross, but it really like cuts through the big fruit of this, and it's really good. Yeah,
there's a little funk. Sometimes same as what I get with some Sauternes in there with it, kind of underneath, almost like you say, wet cardboard or wet
paper
socks. Almost like a Campbelltown funk, almost.
Yeah. Evan says like a mustiness, and yes, there is like a musty.
Yeah.
But like when I think of musty, I think of like a dog, like a wet old dog. But I don't get like wet old dog on this. I get more of like a natural, earthy, papery mustiness.
Yeah. And a lot of fruits, those other fruits we were talking about, even some green apple, tart, sour green apples.
Pears.
Yeah. A lot of fruit.
Big fruit. I mean, this is like really bright fruits. But with a little weird, funky, musty, wet sock dog cardboard note.
Yeah. Just to reach up there and grab your interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Man, cheers. This is awesome. All right. Cheers. Wow.
I can't believe this is the first one we're starting with. Wow. Yeah.
Whew.
That nose is all over the palate. All of those kind of tropical tart, sour notes, a little bit of that mustiness, that funk, just nice fruits exploding. I mean, it hit me as soon as I got the sip in my mouth. It just, the flavor was hitting. You could just tell what was coming.
That is a lot. There's a lot happening on this whiskey. This is, I really can't remember the last time I had a whiskey that really kind of like took me back a little. There's a lot happening on this. I still get that like pear. It's like pear, watermelon, like slushy, like happening. There's like what I really like about it is this isn't like, I think this is a great summer whiskey because there's almost like at the end, there's almost like a mentholy, like cool, like freshness happening on the palate.
Yeah.
I kind of think of it like, do you know, like if you've ever like eaten like a lime slice, like, you know, like you put a slice of lime in your mouth, like you would have, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird and do that. But the way that your mouth feels after you've like had a lime, that is how this whiskey is like, that's how it feels on the palate. But big fruit, big watermelon, like big pear, that musty kind of quality definitely cuts through all of that, making this a really, really fun whiskey.
As soon as you said it was kind of minty, I thought, is it peppermint? What was it was a circle chocolate, and there was a white cream in the middle. It was like
a peppermint patty.
Peppermint patty. Is that what they were?
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. As soon as you said minty, I kind of got like a chocolate minty that and that creamy
Yeah.
filling almost from
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that. There is like it just feels very cool on my palate. Not hot. The only like warmth I'm getting is from like the actual ABV of the whiskey. But this is like a very like refreshing, cooling kind of whiskey. Oh, York. It was a York peppermint patty. Lady K, thank you.
That's it.
This is I'm trying to contain myself, but this is really effing good.
You can say it. Nobody's watching.
Okay. I don't have to like add to the swear jar or something. Joe Hunt says, is it like Out of Signal? Out of Signal was probably one of my favorite whiskeys of the year so far. Absolutely loved that whiskey. I don't know. I'd have to do a little side by side. I gotta dig that out. I'd have to do a little side by side to see if they are alike. But I
don't remember that one, or that it had. Was it wine cask finished? I've got that one too.
I don't recall. I'm gonna look. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't.
I have it.
I thought that one was a spicy and sweet. Which I guess it could be. It could be a wine. Have a wine finish on it.
And I actually may not have any because I probably finished it.
I'm looking at it right now. 120.38. This was a 7-year.
Yeah.
Not that we're gonna compare. Where'd it go?
Yeah, that whiskey was really stellar.
Yeah, it was spicy and sweet.
Yep.
It was just second fill ex bourbon barrel, so no wine finish on it. But this one, that 5-year, that Chenin Blanc, this would definitely cause me. Yes, I would definitely. Any other whiskey I see aged or finished in a Chenin Blanc cask, I would definitely buy after this just to see how it compares, because this one
absolutely.
This is delicious.
I mean, this is. I really cannot recall the last time we've had like this. Just like, I don't know. This is just so different. It's like a breath of fresh air almost. Like, it's just so unique and so different. And it is literally like funky. And like, I just get watermelon and pear on the nose and palate of this, like big watermelon and pear. And that little just funk that comes through there is, man, really, so good.
I'm getting a slight ashiness as well, or maybe char from the barrel, one of them. And and that's probably with the first drop of water that I put in it. And it really even brings out a little bit more of the sweetness. And I think a little bit more of that mustiness as well.
Let me try it with a little bit of water.
Yeah, for my first dip into a Chenin Blanc finished one, this is outstanding.
Stellar.
This would be a hard one for somebody to beat, I think.
Yeah. Man.
It was good. This was delicious neat. It was delicious with a drop of water. It's delicious with 2 drops of water. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. With water, I definitely find this to be a little more sweet. Like, I'm definitely getting more of those like kind of candied, like cotton candy, like green apple Jolly Rancher, like those kind of notes are coming more through for me. It kind of tones the funk a little bit for me and makes it a little more sweet. But man, what a whiskey.
Yeah.
What a whiskey.
Yeah. That's a good one to start with.
Yeah, it's funny. I tasted my husband. He's always, kind of like my guinea pig, poor guy. And I let him taste this, and he was like, "This is almost like a really great cocktail. Like if you could make a whiskey, just a single malt, single cask Scotch whiskey, taste like a really great cocktail, this would be that whiskey." There's just so much going on. It's so layered and so complex. And man, this is very razzmatazzy. Lots of razzmatazz happening on the palate.
Plenty of
So,
razzmatazz, as they say.
Yes. So if you're into the razzmatazz, this is a whiskey for you. Dang. I'm going to read the tasting notes really quick.
Okay, do it.
Can I do that?
Yep.
All right. So this says mega disc of chocolate sprinkled with hundreds and thousands and a mango tea. I don't know what sprinkled with hundreds and thousands of what.
Huh.
I don't know. Diluted candy pieces as well as summer fruits.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Candied pieces and summer fruits, definitely. So
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Wow. That was fun.
How are we ever going to beat that one?
I know. I was like, where do we go from here?
About another sweet, fruity, and mellow. Another wine cask finish here as well.
Yeah, this next one was, I'm going to be completely honest. When selecting these whiskeys, I was very selfish here because one, I love this distillery. I actually just finished a bottle that I've been hanging on to for a couple of years. It was actually called Poached Pears. And so I absolutely love this distillery. And the type of cask that this was in. I mean, you do not have to twist my arm any day of the week to taste one of these whiskeys. So, and really quick, Razorback W says hundreds and thousands are the rainbow sprinkles you put on your ice cream in the UK. Oh. There we go. Thank you very much for that. And Warren Buff too said apparently hundreds and thousands can refer to a colorful candy sprinkle. Oh, I like that. Can I get some hundreds and thousands on my ice cream? Really like that.
Still learning. 20 minutes in and we're still learning stuff.
Holy cow. All right.
Next.
Shall we
pop
cruise into number 2?
Boom. Right there it is. 36.185. A Sweet Harvest. 18-year-old Speyside. This one's 14-4. 14 years in the ex-bourbon hogshead. 4 years in the first fill ex-Sautern's Barrique. 55.2% ABV. Sweet, fruity, and mellow. And again,
so happy about having this
beautiful.
I know.
Beautiful color.
How do we do this? Oh, look, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah,
right in front of you.
Super excited.
Woo. It's oh my. The 18 years definitely shows on this one. This one's so rich on the nose. Really hints though of the one we just came from, that Chenin Blanc. It's real some of the similar notes, but it's a little darker, more red fruits and berries almost, it feels like.
Yeah. I'm almost getting like if you spilled a bunch of like Luxardo cherries on like a freshly polished like piece of like furniture or like leather chair. Like all of those smells combined with like a little, I'm almost getting like a little pine note on the like back end of this. Ooh.
I can't say I'm getting any of the pine yet, but spicy, all of your baking spices, cinnamons and nutmeg. Oh. Fruity, yeah. More berries and red fruits than we saw with the Chenin Blanc, but oh wow.
Yeah, like cherries, blackberries, like a little raspberry.
Little bitter chocolate.
Yeah. Definitely some leather polish, like leather or like furniture polish of some kind.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude.
And that was jumping out of the glass. I mean, it burned my nose a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
One of them.
Holy crap. Wow. This just is like.
Yeah. Gorgeous nose.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, we like really had a moment there.
Huh. Yep. All right.
All right, let's taste it. Tally ho.
Mm.
Yep, I'm done.
Dark chocolates, raspberries, berries, your cherries, cinnamon, some sort of a cinnamon glaze. Caramels. Think of any dessert with caramel, fudge, chocolate, and cherries in it, and that's it. Wow.
They should rename this to Put a Fork in Me, because that is how this whiskey make me feel. Wow. So what I always get out of Sauterne, anything that's in Sauterne, I always get this like very funky, almost blue cheese kind of note. That is why I really love whiskeys that are matured in Sauterne cask. And I'm getting a very light hint of that. So like what I'm envisioning is like a dessert board, right? With like a little nuts, a little fruit, a little chocolate, a little cheese, and like having little bites of that all at the same time. That is like what is happening on my palate. And for me, that's like my favorite way to eat. Like I love putting together just boards of all different types of things and eating that way. I don't like big meals. I like to have a little bit of everything. And this is just like, it's just all of the things I love happening at one time on my palate. And this is beautiful. This whiskey is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. And take my hot fudge sundae type dessert there with the cherries on it, and add some crushed walnuts on there as well. Yeah, whipped cream.
Ooh, yes. I get it more on the nose, but definitely like homemade whipped cream, not Cool Whip, Whip, not that. Like thick, oily, like homemade whipped cream. Holy shit.
Yeah, these are both, and so the first one at 14 years, this one at 18. The 18 years is definitely showing here. There is a lot of cask influence here. It's very nice, very palate warming, just soaking, great finish that goes on. It's so sweet and chocolatey tasting, the finish that keeps on giving, and that's neat. Let me get a drop of water in this.
I definitely get like that like chocolate and fruit and like nutty like profile on like the front of my palate, but like in the very back, like up like where like my tonsils are, I get like that little bit of funk, that like blue cheese almost kind of note, like at the roof of my mouth in the very back. And oh my gosh.
So yeah, I will tell you a couple of the other Sauternes that I've had, they kind of have a little bit more of that funkiness. And the blue cheese, or kind of some of those funky cheeses, is a good word for it. So I kind of was surprised. This one, I think those notes are kind of toned down and they're not quite as up front.
I agree.
Maybe that's because it's 18 years old. I don't know.
I mean, it could be its first fill. So, I too was expecting it to be a little more cheesy.
Yeah.
So to speak. But I still am definitely getting that. It's just like in the very back, like up in the back of my palate. And I mean, this is just like elegant and like it just rolls across your palate. I mean, this is just like exquisite whiskey. Wow.
I would throw some slight tobaccos in there as well. Maybe a little pipe tobacco. A little bit richer, sweeter. Great. I mean, just great fruits, great spices, nuttiness, chocolatey. raspberries,
Yep.
cherries, whipped cream, homemade whipped cream, official whipped cream.
This is like my favorite meal in whiskey form. Like literally, all the things I love is in this whiskey.
Yeah, these are both.
And I'm always
both of these first two whiskeys are just outstanding.
Ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous. I always set the bar really high for Sauterne, especially society ones, because my favorite society cask ever, and I know I'm not supposed to have one, but I will, and I will forever. It was a Sauterne, ex-Sauterne, 135.1, and that was the most perfect whiskey in the world. And so I always have very like high expectations for them, and this one is just, I mean, it hits it.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah. I added a second drop of water in here just to see.
Don't even want to add water.
It's not hurting. It's like the first one. It was good, neat. It was good with one round. It was good with 2 rounds. Same here, but woo, yeah, it's just a palate buster. Just good all around. Delicious, I should say. Wow.
Yeah, I think that one for me, I'm neat all the way. Yeah. Whew, all right. I'm like exhausted from those first two. Oh my gosh. All right, let me like reset myself here.
Definitely 2 gorgeous whiskeys to start with.
I feel like I need to crack a window in here and like let some fresh air in. Stand up and do a stretch after those.
Tom R is asking how many bottles of each one. The last one I can tell you 114 bottles in the States. And the one before that, which was, what was it, 70?
I think that one was, there were only 80, like 78 maybe? Are you looking?
90 bottles in the USA.
90 bottles. Okay, actually there's 88 because we have 2 of them. So, yeah, only 88 of those.
All right. And let me take a little bite of bread here, cleanse the palate a little bit.
Is that homemade bread?
Homemade sourdough bread.
I love that you make your own bread. I love it.
I just started.
I'm waiting for you to mail me a loaf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Spicy and dry.
One of the most underrated flavor profiles.
And this was a toss-up really on the tasting tonight, but with the sweet, fruity, and mellows, a 14-year and an 18-year. With those wine cask influences, I kind of wanted to get those and not let this spicy and dry disrupt the palate, and kind of maybe take away some of those wine cask nuances. So.
Yeah, and this is a belter at 59.1%. I got to fix that. It is 59.1, not 59.2, but this is Get Into the Grove. And this is cast 12.60 and an 11-year space side and a second fill ex-bourbon barrel. And then when I was talking to Mr. Tom Smith on the phone today about this particular whiskey, he started singing that song, Get Into the Groove. Boy, you've got to prove your love to me. Well, and then it was stuck in my head for like 8 hours, and I was like, damn it.
I'd like to see a recording of that one.
Yeah, I know. I should have recorded him when I was talking to him, singing it to me on the phone. So
dry spiciness just all over the nose on this one. And I even went so far in my review to call out like dry mustard. Oh.
Whoa. All right.
But citrusy as well. Lemony, honeyed.
That's what I got.
Yeah. Malty, oak.
Yeah. So I make this like homemade salad dressing all the time, and I put it on all kinds of stuff. But it's like honey, lemon, like grainy mustard or like Dijon mustard, and like a little salt and pepper. That's kind of what this is like reminding me of a little bit, like almost a honey mustard nose.
Yeah.
With like a little lemon in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Good call. Wow. Peppery though too. Yeah. Spicy, just jumps out, grabs your nose hairs if you have them.
Yeah, this is there, but there is like a nice, like sweet citrus kind of belly of this that is really nice.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. Yeah. A nice honey, citrusy background.
Yeah.
Spice. Wow. All right. Get in on this one.
Okay. Cheers.
Well, that one just takes over the palate as well.
Woo! Wow.
Spicy. And again, my dry mustard or even a Dijon mustard. Dijon honey mustard. Slight citruses in the background, letting all the spice and oak really up front. Peppery. Little astringent, not too bad. Almost fresh cracked black pepper and white pepper as well.
I think that the nose and palate on this match like spot on. I mean, this is nose and palate are just match really beautifully. And it's like like it has really good texture. Like it is like thick and chewy.
This is spicy and dry is really moving up in my favorite flavor profiles, and this is another great whiskey in there. I mean, no wine cask finishing with most of these. Most of them are just going to be a bourbon hogshead, a refill bourbon barrel, something like that. But just it's just so entertaining to the palate, if you ask me. Just some of these different notes and things that they bring, just wow. They wow me anyway.
Yeah.
It's a great. Yeah. It's kind of a break away from a lot of the other scotches flavor profiles.
I mean, so far these three whiskeys that we've had have been so different and unique. I mean, this really does have there's like a honey mustard note. I've never said that. I don't think I've ever and I've tasted a lot of whiskey. I don't think I've ever said this is getting some like honey mustard vibes. Like I want to kind of dip some chicken tenders in this. Never have I said that ever. So like the fact that we're on the third one and we had these two just like crazy, cask, I was like in the back of my head, I was like, man, I hope this next one, because I haven't tasted it, but honey mustard in a whiskey, like what? This is crazy.
Couple comments, people that love the static bar and not the one that's scrolling, they like that better where all the information is up there at the same time. So maybe we'll stick with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a drop of water in here. Haven't tasted it yet. Oh, hasn't added anything. It's definitely everything's expanding, and even it even got a little bit more spicy with water. A little bit more, all those spices showing. Still oaky, nice. I mean, I can't even say caramel. Most of the time you get a caramel note of some kind. No, not getting any caramel here. and maybe just slight vanilla. This is mainly spices
Yep.
and oak, slight citruses still in the background. And yeah, just gorgeous.
Yeah, this is I actually like this one a little better with water, just because it like kind of tames everything to where you can really like experience the full like breadth of all of the things that are happening on the palette. I mean, the ABV on this is a little high, and so I liked kind of just bringing that down a little bit with water, and I'm still getting all of those same kind of profiles I was getting, but it's just like a more like refined kind of way of delivery. And I still want to just like dunk a chicken tender into this whiskey and eat it. But this is so unique. And I do, you had made mention about kind of getting that oak, and I'm getting it like kind of on the sides here, like after on the finish, like it kind of comes in after the finish and you get like a big oak ring basically in your palate.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is, no caramel. I mean, none of those typical ex-bourbon kind of notes.
Right.
Really, really cool. Yeah, really unique.
I think water brought out more of that oak. Some of the oak tannins were released. I think in water.
Yeah. But I like that. I like that. And that's honestly like about this flavor profile. I do love that kind of dry or that kind of hug you get on your palate sometimes with this flavor profile. And so I really enjoy that kind of oaky hug that you get, at the end. And this is just so cool. What a cool whiskey.
Yeah.
So unexpected. All right, I'm going to read the tasting notes. Oh, are you going to do it? Okay.
No, I'm going to tell you it's time for this. You like doing that. It's time for the notes. And now, from Atlanta, Anna with the notes.
With the notes. So this says, I like that. You're going to have to do that every time. This says, firm yet elegant and enchanting. A dry and complex and superbly fresh young dram that showcases this great spirit in wood.
Okay.
Nothing about chicken tenders or Dijon mustard or any of that. What the heck?
Ooh.
And Tom R, I'm definitely doing that. I had it in the back of my head, but I didn't want to seem like a complete, degenerate putting whiskey in my salad dressing, but I'm definitely doing that. And Justin wants to know what you're snacking on.
Yep, my homemade sourdough bread.
So how long does it take you from?
It takes a day to prep. Basically, you spend a day prepping it and then bake it the next day.
Yeah. Have you gotten like fancy and like put little designs and stuff in the top yet?
A little bit, not too much. They turn out. So I just started at the end of May, so I'm only 2 months in, but it's already the bread turning out pretty good. I'm pretty happy.
Awesome. Yeah.
There's a book. Actually, I watched a special on Netflix. John Favreau did a series called The Chef Show.
Yeah. Yes.
And he had a couple of them where he talked about he was doing sourdough bread. And then they went to Tartine Bread, which is a big bread company in LA, I think.
Tartine, I think it's San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yes. Their bread pudding is to die for.
And so they have a book that's called Tartine Bread. So I bought it, and I had bought another kind of a starter book to get started with it. And I didn't feel like it was really going like it should. So I bought the Tartine Bread book, and it just elevated it, quickly, and followed their instructions to a T, and it's just magnificent.
I love it. Brianna and I are always swapping recipes and stuff. So we're going to have to add you to our little food recipe swap chat.
Yep.
All right. Whew.
Wow. I'll bake a loaf like every 3 days or so. Just even though I don't eat that much, it's time to bake one. And I've got the recipe down now in my head where I can do it without going to the book, which is where I wanted to get to. Now I can branch out and start trying some different things. There's all kinds of different things to do with it, but
Yeah, you can make like a rye bread or
There's a garlic herb sourdough bread I want to try, or baguettes. So,
I mean, is there such thing as bad bread? I love
not in the
bread.
homemade world.
Yeah, I was like, man, bread is just, yeah. Oh, bread. There was a quick note. Cannot find 70.46 on the website. These will be going live on the website tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And so that is why they are not currently on the website. They will be up tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time.
I was trying to figure out what Tom R said. He said Scott puts the SMWS logo on his grate. Company man. Oh, on his bread? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, you should make a
I should try
society loaf.
Yeah, Steve Balzac. Steve bakes sourdough bread, and he says his son inhales it.
I mean,
It's man, a fresh loaf. You cut off a slice.
hot bread.
You toast it in the morning, and you put Kerrygold butter on it, and oh my god, it's so good. It's replaced most of my other breakfasts.
And Evan, yes, it was Kiki who did it. It's my favorite Studio Ghibli.
Joe Hunt says green labels already. Yes, actually, green label. We're on our 4th and last bottle.
Our final whiskey.
For tonight. Yep. If you weren't here at the very first, we said it. We had 5 whiskeys slated to preview tonight. There's 12 bottles. There was more coming tomorrow. Some of them got delayed. And one of the other bottles that we were going to review tonight got delayed in that group. So we went from 5 to 4. But
before, like, well, I don't want to jinx it, but these have been like extraordinary whiskeys.
Yes.
I mean, dang. All right.
Go ahead and introduce this one as well. I got the first 2.
All right.
You got the last 2.
All right. So this is cask 93.174. Fortune Favors the Brave. And this is an 8-year Campbelltown and First Fill X Bourbon Barrel at 57.8% ABV in our peated flavor profile.
That's right. Not lightly peated, not heavily peated, just peated. Yes. And it's all over the nose. Nikes.
I know. I was like, don't say it, Jenna.
Well, I get an idea.
This is like...
It's a little industrial, Pete.
Yes.
But it's a little earthy at the same time. And then there's a nice limey tartness on the nose, on the back end. Salty, maritime. It's key lime pie at an oyster feed on the nose. On a beach with the campfire going.
This is like peated olive juice.
Ooh, yeah.
That's what I'm getting. Like if olives could be peated, yeah. This is what I'm getting on the nose. But yeah, a little industrial, which I'm into that. I like that. So you're eating like peated olives while like at a car show or something.
Yeah.
It's like rubbery and tires and like a smoked martini. Yes.
What about the tartness, the sour fruit there on the back end of the nose?
Yeah, on the back. There's definitely a little sour. I just don't know what it is. I like the key lime pie note. Wow.
And Andrew Deloach is asking, does 93 have that same dirty smoke that certain other Campbelltowns do? You know, we've had different levels of peat, especially from 93. I think we've had a broad range. I think we've had lightly peated and heavily peated with 93.
We've had lightly peated, heavily peated, oily and coastal.
They can kind of it really can change with this distillery. I don't know. I mean, like, you know, you get an Ardbeg or a a Lefroy, something like that. You're like, oh, that's an Isla peat. This one doesn't smell like an Isla peat, but I think 93, there's varying peats, it seems like.
Yeah, I feel like we've had like some sweet peats. We've had some like industrial. We've had some that are like very light, like almost like toasty and not peaty.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've had some that really, you don't get a lot of peat. You get more like maritime kind of notes. And this one's kind of, I feel like a mix of everything. It's like briny and industrial and like, yeah, you're like eating a just giant jar of peated olives at a car show on the coast of Campbelltown. Then after you're done, you smash your face into Scott's key lime pie that he has homemade.
Yeah. I like dirty martinis with a lot of olives. I put extra olive juice, like a filthy martini, I guess you'd call it. I put olive juice in there and 2 or 3 olives, big martini olives. But I've also started adding a splash of a peated whiskey into it.
Ooh.
And it brings a smokiness to it. And that's, as soon as you said like peated olives, that's what I thought of was my filthy martinis with a splash of a peated whiskey in it. So yeah.
It was Sage Summer who said like a smoked martini. Yeah. I was like, ooh, okay. And then there are a couple other ones in here, like a peated dirty martini sounds yummy, says Tom R. And Robbie Robinson says this sounds perfect for a penicillin cocktail, which I agree. This would make us, just on the nose, I haven't tasted it yet. Stellar penicillin.
This one is a little bit, somebody commented they like the color of it. It's so 8-year-old ex-bourbon barrel, really about the color that I would expect from that. So yeah. Nice, subtle cask influence at this age. Probably a lot of distillate character showing. Let's find out. Cheers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cheers.
Oh, this is a salty.
Wait. Huh? I'm just shocked.
This is a salty maritime. This is that oyster bake on the beach, oyster feed with the campfire going. There's some salted smoked fish in here as well. White fish. It's a little mossy, a little seaweedy, smoky. And on the background, is that key lime pie, some lemon tarts, powdered sugars. Beautiful. Your turn.
I am going to co-sign on a lot of what you just said. This thing is sooty AF. Like, I was not expecting it to be that sooty. I was like, where is that coming? Because I didn't really get a lot of that on the palate.
On the nose?
And I or on the nose, but I'm definitely getting that key lime pie note. It's like if you took a key lime pie and baked it until it like charred on the top, like a charred key lime pie, whereas like ashy and sooty, and you had to like kind of scrape it off like you do with like a marshmallow, and then ate that on the beach, like after having like guzzled down like 8 dozen oysters. This is that whiskey. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I like the way you talk.
This is, what did we do to deserve this, Scott? Oh my gosh. Whew.
Well, I would say cheers to the person that picked out the whiskeys for tonight, which was you.
Oh my gosh. I got lucky. 4 for 4. And that 5th one that we were going to taste, that I know.
I was going to say it would have been 5 for 5.
Oh my gosh. And Stuart, yes, it definitely is like industrial, mechanical, sooty almost. And I mostly get that profile with Distillery 33. It's like the one distillery that I just think is the most, and I'm talking about most of their just like core releases. But I'm definitely getting that mechanical, sooty, just like, and I wasn't really getting that on the nose. So I was like really shocked to see that profile come through.
Definitely more on the palate than there is on the nose. Yeah.
Big time. Yeah. Yeah. Dang.
Dave Starr wants to know what the fifth one was. Unfortunately,
we can't tell you.
Sorry.
You may see it later down the road.
Oh yeah.
But we just can't tell you what it is now. But yeah. Wow.
Trig V wants to know any thoughts on which of the four would pair best with a medium cigar. I'll tell you, any one of these four tonight. If I was looking at them though, and I went that 18 year, the Outturns might be the one I grab, or it could be this one.
I don't know if I think I would probably, if I had to pick, I think it would be the first one, the Plenty of Razzmatazz, just because I would really like to see that kind of counterbalance of like that sweet big fruit to kind of counterbalance that with a cigar. Mm-hmm. I'm not a cigar person, so if I sound crazy, it means I probably am. It's not something I do very often, but just knowing what that kind of cigar profile gives you, I would kind of want to match that up with something a little sweeter just to see what happens.
Yeah. I think it depends. So there's two goals. There's one, either a person wants to smoke the cigar and taste it and have a whiskey with it, or they want to smoke a cigar and have a whiskey with it and taste the whiskey over the cigar.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends on what you're going for there. Generally, I want to taste my whiskey. So I want something that's going to overpower the cigar a little bit. That's me. So I want something, high ABV, of course, always helps. So any of these are good for that. But then you also want something that's got a lot on the palate. If you're wanting to enjoy the whiskey, with the cigar. But if your goal is to taste the cigar and enjoy it, and you just want a whiskey, anything will do at that point.
Shall I read the notes?
Absolutely. And from Atlanta, Jenna with the notes.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Okay. Oh gosh. All right. It says, go for it. Peppered smoked mackerel, rustic smoked Greek cheese, smoked eels, smoked cockles and brine, and spicy, smoky, sweet, and sour dill. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I'm, wow. That's all I can say about these four whiskeys. We really knocked it out of the park here.
Stuart Wright says, usually the whiskey overpowers the cigar. I would say not. And I learned my lesson here. It was several years ago with family. We sat down, we had whiskey, we had cigars, and I just bought a bottle of Redbreast Lustau that we shared with the cigars. But it wasn't a strong enough whiskey to overpower the cigars. You couldn't. It was really wasted. Because that was such a fine whiskey with some really subtle nuances and stuff to it that were lost to the cigar. So like I say, it just depends on what your goal is, I think, with it. So I do like cast strength whiskeys, even cast strength bourbons, heavily sherried or heavily peated scotches go well to me with cigars. So it allows you to get a little bit of both.
Yeah, I'm not expert in those things. So that is all you, Scott.
Oh, Tom R wants to know spreadsheet time. I think we have that.
Oh, yes. I suppose we should do that.
So we'll do that. Then we'll talk about the special that starts tomorrow.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to put up let's find it here. There we go. All right, here comes the full Outturn list tomorrow. So cask 95.54, plenty to cheer about, is the bottle of the month. So if you're in the bottle of the month program, that is going to be your bottle of the month, which is nice. 15-year in Percival American Oak Pedro Jimenez Hogshead. That's exciting.
Ooh.
And then looks like we got an oldie in there, cask 46.117, 28 years. Love that distillery. Yeah, this is a nice little balance. I mean, we got some age on some of these casks, and then you have some younger ones in there. So
well, and we actually there was going to be, so there's 12 whiskeys. We were going to have 19, I believe, and several got held up. I don't know if that was in customs or the port or where, but they will be coming later.
So yeah, take your screenshots or snap a photo with your phone. But that is what will be dropping on the website at 1 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern time.
Yes.
As always. All right. Shall we? All right.
Last
3 seconds. Yep. All right. So let's discuss our little promotion that we're going to be starting tomorrow. So I think one of the most popular questions that we get is, where can people get our society glasses? And we happen to have a nice little restock of them. And so starting tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern time with the Outturn, and for the next 2 weeks, so it ends on the 16th of August, if you order at least 3 bottles, so 3 or more from the Outturn, or over the next 2 weeks, we will send you 2 society glasses. So that is going to be starting tomorrow with the Outturn release. So if you have been, looking for the glasses, or, wanting a set of glassware, now is your chance. So that's the tea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to order 3 bottles anyway. So
I mean,
it's like a freebie.
Exactly. And so, so let's say you order 1 bottle this week and then 2 bottles the next week, we will send those glasses with your second round. So on your 3rd bottle, however you kind of break that up, if you do, we will get those 2 glasses tucked in there with you and arrange to have them sent out to you. So there was a question, do we need to include a note or something about them? Nope, you do not have to do anything. Just 3 bottles or more over the next 2 weeks, and we'll get a set out to you while supplies last.
Lady K is asking, does bottle of the month count? Should. If you ordered 2 bottles and had the bottle of the month, had them shipped together, glasses should be in there with it.
That's it.
Glasses are not available separately, only through this promotion right now. So.
And will we be able to hold glasses for 30 days as with normal orders? That's a great question. I believe we should, but I will double check on that tomorrow. And I know where to find you, so I'll shoot you over. I'll make a note and I'll shoot you over an email and let you know.
Yeah, I would imagine as long as you order 3 bottles, in the next 2 weeks, even if they're held for a little bit, you should be in that date period. But yeah, let's check on that. Is the mid-month Outturn before the deadline? Let's see. The mid-month Outturn will be, it will release on the 16th at 1 p.m. So yeah, you'd have a few hours in there. And I'm guessing this will run through midnight Pacific time on the 16th, Jenna?
Yep.
That's generally,
that is the general rule.
So you'd have a few hours in there with the mid-month.
Yeah. So over the next 2 weeks. Yep. And I mean, really, I think any combination of at least the 4 casks that we taste this evening these whiskeys are, Scott, really, I can't remember a time that I've been like this, like razzmatazz about, the cask that we've tasted through. I just am just so over the moon with these 4 whiskeys.
Yeah. It was four outstanding whiskeys, so good picks.
Really.
Good call.
Yeah, really, really stellar stuff. Will the society ever
Go ahead.
Robbie Robson asked, will the society ever have the really large glasses? I mean, like the Ina Garden, like giant wine glass kind of large glasses. I don't think so.
Kim, KLG223 says, now I can drink from SMWS glasses while wearing my SMWS beanie. That's right.
There you go. Beanie season is getting close. I cannot wait for it to be nice and cold.
Is it getting close? It's hot.
I hope so. Every day I'm like, I can't wait for it to be cold. I can't wait for it to be cold.
All right. Well, I think that was it. That was everything that we had. If you're interested in Discord, again, shoot us Scott at smwsa.com or Jenna at smwsa.com. A request to come into Discord. We'll verify your membership and send you an invitation link to bring in. We were at 68 members before we went live tonight. We'll probably get a few requests, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I think it's going really good. I like it. I've been in there quite a bit, chatting, and yeah.
Yeah. And if you are not a member and you would love to be, we would obviously love to have you and share all of these amazing whiskeys with you. So you can find all of that information over at smwsa.com, or feel free to reach out to Scott or myself, and always happy to hop on the phone with you, or, you know, answer any questions that we have that you have, and, you know, yeah, do what we can.
You bet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody that tuned in. Should we close her out?
Let's do it.
Remember, Scotch Malt Whiskey Society whiskeys are not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers.